Alright, hello and welcome to Nick Reviews Things from the 90s. Today we're going to talk about Lisa Frank. The dark side of Lisa Frank. And the bright, colorful side, too. My childhood was riddled with unicorns, cats, Hollywood teddy bears, dolphins, penguins, and all sorts of other crazy things. The 90s was a time of massive visual overstimulation. And at the forefront of the market for neon kids' school supplies was Lisa Frank. Lisa Frank's reign supreme started in 1979 and then peaked in the 90s. But let's start out at the beginning. Lisa Frank is a real person. She was born at a young age. She rarely interviews and definitely doesn't want her picture anywhere. But internet. Originally, Lisa Frank is from Detroit, but after school she moved to Arizona to go to art school. To support herself, she would buy local Native American handmade, like pottery and jewelry, and then she'd bring it back to Michigan and sell it. Clever, right? She eventually started requesting specific designs, and then just kind of caved and started doing it herself. In 1979, she started Lisa Frank Incorporated. She created her own copyrighted and fiercely protected recipe for bright, vibrant, vivid, crazy inks. What followed was decades of acid trips for kids. But where did she go? Well, after years of not being a great boss, she eventually married one of the illustrators who worked for Lisa Frank Incorporated. As anyone riding on the coattails of the boom of neon kids' school supplies. He ended up being a verbally abusive coke addict who was given management and control of the company while Lisa Frank stayed at home and raised their two sons. But how did he handle management? By berating his employees, having everyone cater to his Napoleon complex. He had a problem with being shorter than average, so the women in the company weren't allowed to wear high heels, among other really bizarre rules. And having an affair with the vice president of the company. Winner, right? They eventually divorced, and following that with years of legal battles. When I say years, I mean like 15. For like property rights and all sorts of ridiculous amounts of money. It was basically him being a wanker. Then, when the company finally tried to make a change in the early 2000s, they legally got burned again. So how did I find this Lisa Frank book in the grocery market today? The most recent information I could find on this company is that they've outsourced all of their production to other companies, and that Lisa Frank gave an interview in 2015. The article is really not well known and has 7 comments on it total. There was no information in the interview about how the company is doing or where they plan to go with it. Of course not. You know, it's very possible that Lisa Frank is in fact an artsy Willy Wonka. She's stated she's a lunatic, jokingly, maybe not. She's extremely reclusive. She's very secretive about her recipes, her color recipes. The Lisa Frank factory is all but abandoned, perhaps to one day open for a contest. To get a tour of the magical factory, you have to find a neon unicorn. Not in a package or anything like that. You have to find a physical, living neon unicorn. Then you will be allowed entry into the Lisa Frank factory. There's one thing in particular that always stood out to me about these designs. Because they're so bright and busy, you have to look at them for a few seconds before you can actually discern what's on them. Example. This is not just a picture of a glitter snow globe. No, there's actually like a Pegasus and a bunch of stars and rainbows and stuff. Lisa Frank pictures are like violent eye puzzles. One thing I did learn about the frequent subjects of Lisa Frank's art is that they all have names and live in the fantastic world of Lisa Frank. That's its actual name, the fantastic world of Lisa Frank. I really want to see a map of this place. It's got all sorts of great locations. The Magicful Meadows, Beverly Hills, Rockin' Rainbow Ranch, Air Fluff Island, Lullaby Lake, the Very Cool School, Creativity City, Rainbow Reef, Fantasy Castle. There are also very scientific sounding Frankological species. You have Wingus Wondrous, the swan. You've got Hugus Poochus, St. Bernards. Girlius Genius, the female genie. Friendus Felinus, a girl with the best friend who's a cat. Seriously. A few of them are even named after people in Lisa Frank's life. The rainbow leopard and tiger are both named after her sons. The unicorn is named after a close friend of theirs that died very young. Priscilla is in fact based off of Lisa Frank herself. Even the pieces of jewelry that Priscilla has next to her are based off of Lisa Frank's actual pieces of jewelry. I know that the Lisa Frank Facebook page is still very active. I know that Lisa Frank isn't quite done with us yet. And I know we definitely have not heard the last of Lisa Frank. All in all, I can safely say that Lisa Frank was a big part of my childhood, and what I didn't have of Lisa Frank's memorabilia and stuff I wanted. Who wouldn't want giant, bright, pink, unicorn shit? I'm really surprised I didn't say Anne Frank once during this video.